Hello, Align fam. With all that's going on in the world right now, a lot of people are feeling helpless and powerless. And so I've been really wanting to do this episode about self-power to remind everyone of all that's energy and that power that's embedded within you simply by being alive. I naturally, and my whole life, I've never been really into watching a lot of movies or shows. I definitely didn't watch award seasons and award shows. And one of my dear friends this past Sunday was like, "Hey, come watch the Oscars together. You know, my membership club's doing an event. We can dress to the nines and celebrate together." And my initial gut, not even my gut, my initial like judgment was, oh, I don't want to waste time. Like I could be doing so much on a Sunday. I felt there is an element of guilt of watching award shows because they are so long. And I feel like I should be living my life and doing my thing versus watching other people live their life and do their thing. But something hit me this time and I thought, let's do something differently. I've honestly never watched a full Oscars and it seemed like a fun event to get dressed up and have our own viewing party. So I said yes. And I'm so glad I did because I learned so much from watching the Oscars this past Sunday. And so it all makes sense why this self-power episode has been sitting on my to-do list. But I needed a lot more, I would say, nuggets and inspiration to really make this episode come alive. And it all makes sense why I had to wait until I watched the Oscars. So, without further ado, here are the five key insights I really want to remind all of you when it comes to self power. And we're going to revolve it around the Oscars. So, let's dive right in. The first point is your unique story is powerful. So, why are we so drawn to movies and shows and even books? Because stories are the windows to inspiration. Stories are windows to another way of living, of being, and feeling. And so think about your life. Your life is uniquely yours. No one has your exact DNA, the exact chronological order of the events that you've been through, how you've reacted to these things. Just like how movies can inspire you to do things differently or, be more open-minded in certain areas of your life or give you an inspiration for something that is troubling you or you're going through in your life right now. Your life is an inspirational story for someone else. And so you have that power to share your story. Your story is so powerful to heal others, to inspire others. So don't be afraid to share it authentically because someone needs to hear it. And while nobody has your exact same life, um, people definitely share elements of like chapters in your life, right? Or experiences they've been through. So isn't it beautiful to think that your life story is uniquely yours, yet there are chapters and scenes that you share with other people. And that's what makes us so connected as human beings. So that's another huge reason why someone is going through what you've been through or you are currently going through. By sharing your story, you can absolutely make someone feel less alone, more seen, and even give them, ideas of how to handle things differently. So your life can literally be an Oscar winning movie, like life story. Share it. Someone needs to hear it. So I would love for you guys to comment below and think about which chapter, or even maybe your whole life story, but which chapter in your life could be turned into an award-winning movie. What would that be? Now, let's move a little bit further into owning your own life plot. So we tend to hide parts of our life that we are ashamed of, that we've experienced grief, embarrassment, shame, anger, all of these emotions that we tend to label as negative. We are so quick to try to paint our life to be this picture perfect, like just complete fairy tale, like the ending of it, right? That if you think of any good movie or story, is everything always butterflies and rainbows? No, that would be a really boring movie. No one would watch it, right? Chances are, your favorite movies and your favorite stories are around characters that have gone through hardships and tribulations and things that they've had to work out and evolve and grow in order to get their end result. So if you need all these lessons and learnings and, a fun plot to make a movie exciting, what makes you think your darkest moments aren't actually what makes your life story? What makes you think that your darkest moments isn't the reason why your life story is so compelling and it can actually teach and inspire others? Because your darkest moments and the parts of you naturally want to hide are the parts that make your story the most worthy of listening to and the most worthy of learning from, right? So think about the times when you've learned how to deal with different situations and moments, how you pivoted to ultimately achieve that end goal, or you're currently still pivoting to achieve that end goal. Why would you strip out the most important parts of your life that made you? Own your full story, share it because someone needs to hear it. So comment below on parts of your life story that you will no longer hide so someone else can gain the courage and strength and healing from you sharing the story. Third part is your unique makeup, not perfection, is power. Just like nobody has your unique life story, no one is uniquely you, right? No, from your genetic makeup to your personality, how you handle things, you are literally one of a kind. And every person is a unique puzzle piece. And together, when you piece them together, we create this beautiful piece of art that is made out of little pieces of humanity. Now, think of your favorite character. Okay. Is he or she flawless? No, right? But why are they your favorite character? Well, chances are you respect and like elements about this character while you're fully aware of their shortcomings and you're fully aware of, what makes them not perfect. And you also give them grace for these weaknesses. But you also probably like them because they feel so real, they're relatable, and they also inspire you as well. So if your favorite movie character or a story character is not flawless, why do you feel like you have to be perfect all the time? Why do you feel like you have to be the perfect father, the perfect lover, the perfect boss, the perfect friend at all times? And you beat yourself up when you don't, you know, excel in all these areas of your life. It's just impossible. Own your strengths and be mindful of your weaknesses because your weaknesses, just like a puzzle piece, right? The weaknesses are the areas where there's like an indent. Your weaknesses are the areas where you actually allow someone to come in to help you and support you, right? To create this puzzle piece of humanity. If you were perfect, right? You had no flaws. I don't even know what shape of that puzzle would be. It'd probably be a square, right? Squares don't fit in any puzzle, right? It's really those edges, right? The strengths, what kind of protrudes out, what you can give to other pieces to lock it, and your weaknesses where you let people enter and help you. That's what makes humanity. That's what makes it fun to be like a human being on planet Earth, to have a shared human experience. So you don't have to be everything for everyone, but you absolutely need to own who you are and just be mindful of your shortcomings and be aware of who can you attract in your life to be that matching piece. Now, comment below on who your favorite character is and why. And I think that why is really fun for people to see. That chances are it's really their imperfections, their flaws, their shortcomings that make you love, or their quirks that make you love that character. Number four, you are always the protagonist, the director, the movie producer of your life story. Now, let's first look at the craft of acting, right? So when an actor or actress gets into a movie, they have to literally research, learn how to behave and embody that character. So Anora, the movie that won so many Oscars this past Sunday, um, it was actually fascinating to see Mickey, who is the actress that played Annie or Anora of the movie, how she prepared to embody the role of a sex worker. She obviously had to do her research. She went to strip clubs. She's spoken to a lot of consultants or people who used to be in that world. And she learned the lingo. She had obviously never learned how to dance as like a stripper. So she had to learn all those moves. She spent like 6 months doing it. And to the point where it became so real that even she talks about now, it's hard, sometimes hard for her to disassociate herself from the role, right? And that's the art of acting or playing a character. You have to get completely immersed in that being and think how that person would act, react, and behave at all times to play that role. Now, think about yourself. You are always playing a character, right? When you're walking into a meeting and you want to close a deal, that's a character you're playing when you're negotiating. When you are going on a date and you want to impress a lady, you're also playing a character. When you're with your parents, you're also playing a character. At every point in life, depending on who you're with, right, you're always playing a character. And when I say playing, you're choosing that character because you choose how you act, you react, how you show up, how the energy you get off to everybody. So my question for you is, knowing you have that power that you're constantly playing a character, what character do you want to play every day? Right? What does your dream character look like? Your favorite version of you look like? And how would that version behave? How would they act? Who would they spend time with? Who would they say? What would they say no to? What would their habits be? How can you fully embody the favorite version of you because you literally have that power? Now, in life, you're not just the protagonist, right? You are also the director and the producer of the movie. You decide what elements of your life you're funding and you're investing in, right? You decide the plot and what happens to you. And yes, you do decide the plot because every day you have choices. We always have choices, right? Even when it's not just an action, but a reaction, your reaction changes the plot. So knowing you have that power, that you are the protagonist, the director, the intimacy coordinator, the costume designer, all of it, how do you want to show up? Because again, you have that power. Um, Remember this, the stage is your life every day. So what version of you do you want to portray? Now, I want you to comment below as you play your favorite version, once you figure out what that version is, what message would you share to the world, right? Say you are, in your life, you're on the main stage, you're the character, you're the producer, you get to share a message, right? What do you want to share? What do you want in your life to highlight? And how would you use your power of your voice and your thoughts and courage? How would you use that? Because again, every single day you get to choose the character that you want to play and the plot that you want to experience. So be very mindful of that and be responsible with that power. And last but not least, true power comes from your energy. Money and praise are potential results, but they're not the prerequisites of power, right? So we already come embedded with power. We forget that because we get told that, we get brainwashed to think that. And some sooner or later you start to believe that you are nothing without the external world when you came pre-programmed, born with literally 3.5 trillion electric volts of potential energy, right? So when most people think of the word power, they think money. They think the only thing that's associated with power is money. The more money you have, the more power you have. If you have no money, you have no power. So it makes people who don't have physical money at the current moment feel very powerless, right? Now, let's again take a look at the movie Anora. They only spent $6 million to make that. I don't even know how many Oscars they won to win all those awards, right? You look at Wicked, another great Great movie. They spent $150. That was their budget for producing the movie. And apparently another 150 million, so 300 altogether, another 150 million just for marketing. But they didn't win any awards. Not that they had to, it was a great movie. Well, it just shows you it's not the money that gives you the praise or gives you the success. It's how you use what you have, how you use the resources. So think about it now. The Nora cast, because they're very resourceful with the 6 million that they had, they've literally, with their own power, created an amazing movie that it's opening and will continue to open even more doors for them to create more money and more opportunities, right? So it's less so about how much you have, but how resourceful and how creative you are with what you have. And secondly, people also sometimes associate power with likability or praise, right? Like there's a sense of everyone loving me, everyone saying high things about me that gives me power. So let's look at fashion, the outfits on the red carpet, and then also the speeches. Every single person who shows up to that event that is known in any kind of way, or not even known, anyone that shows up, right? They will get both love for their outfits and hate for their outfits. Everyone that shows up and puts himself out there. Every single person who got up on stage to accept an award also received both love and hate for what they said. So no matter what you're going to do, people are always going to make comments because it's not really about you, it's about where they're at, right? The way you show up, you're going to trigger people. Like, say, for example, you want to, like, say the Oscar, say, like Mickey, for example, she won the award, right? Some people have said like, oh, she stole it from Demi and Demi deserved it and so forth. Even though this woman, Mickey, obviously spent so much energy and time and was very good at the movie, but no matter what, if you win or not, people are going to always say things. So, are you going to spend your time trying to get the praise and approval, which is never guaranteed, or you're going to spend your energy showing up authentically yourself, showing up as the favorite movie character of yourself and playing that part every day because it makes you happy, because you like yourself, because that's true to who you are. What would you prefer? Right? And when you are always doing it for the praise or likability, you are literally a puppet and you are so fragile because anytime someone's mood swings and says something negative or, doesn't approve of the way you showed up or the way that you spoke at the event or what you dressed, you're going to crumble. So all the power doesn't come from the praise. The power comes from owning and knowing who you are, being proud of who you are, being proud of the favorite version of you that you embody every single day, and living that character regardless of what people say. And watch when you embody that, I wouldn't say even confidence, it's like that sense of self-worth, that you just know yourself rooted. Watch how you actually gain power that way. Because the most powerful thing you can do is not give a flying bleep of what people say or think, but being authentically yourself, because that's so courageous. Most people are very scared of what people will say or do and think of them. When you show up that way, that is the most powerful force. And that's how you draw in people towards you because people love being around those who know who they are, own who they are, and they're authentic because it's a sign of courage. So I hope this episode was helpful and a little bit more fun, that I tied it back to the Oscars and the things that I've learned from just watching the award show. But ultimately, I wanted to wrap up with one key takeaway for everyone. And it's, if you had a dream movie and you were playing the main character, what would that plot be? And what would that character be like? Because that version of you is who you're playing and creating every single day. So I would love to hear who you're creating, what's the plot, what's the movie, and how you're going to show up every single day. And I hope this reminds you of all the energy you have stored within yourself, all the power, and please use it. Use it for good because the world needs it.